Good morning, Cathedral Rock Church. It's Mike Nielsen here, coming to you on the last week of Advent. Merry Christmas. The Lord has come. The Lord is coming again. And guess what? He is reigning right now on his throne, and that's something to be excited about and something to celebrate. This week, we're to meditate and to pray about love. Now, that's not a small subject, right? God is love. But if we think about love in the context of Christmas and Advent, I think one is immediately drawn to, and rightfully so, to John 3:16. Read with me in John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have eternal life. I think that's a very familiar passage to a lot of us. We see it plastered everywhere on Christmas cards and coffee cups and at halftime during the big game. It's everywhere. I think, though, sometimes we can become desensitized to what that verse really means. What is the significance of it? What does it mean that God loved the world, and what do we do about it? The word love here is agape in Greek, and I hope that this is a very familiar term for everyone. Agape love is unconditional love. We didn't deserve it. We didn't do anything to earn it. Jesus, he hangs the two great commandments on this type of love: to love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love your neighbor as yourself. We are to love God and love our fellow man the way that God first loved us, and that's unconditionally. But there's more. We see that Jesus, he clarifies in his Sermon on the Mount that Christians, we are to love our enemies in the same way. And that's significant in several ways, but read with me the verses that follow John 3:16 in verses 18 and 19. These don't make it onto the coffee cups, do they? Right? Starting in verse 18, whoever believes in him is not condemned, but whoever does not believe is condemned already, because he has not believed in the name of the only Son of God. And this is the judgment, that the light has come into the world, and the people love the darkness rather than the light, because their works were evil. See, Jesus, he didn't come into a world full of people that already loved him, right? Quite the opposite. Jesus came into a world full of enemies. See, we were already condemned, we read. And Paul helps to clarify what it means to be an enemy of God in Romans 5:10. For if, while we were enemies, we were reconciled to God by the death of his Son, much more, now that we are reconciled, shall we be saved by his life. See, Jesus tells us to love our enemies because that's what he did. See, if Jesus didn't love his enemies, then we'd have nothing to celebrate this Christmas, would we? John 3:16 says that God gave us his Son. See, he gives us his Son. He gives us the gift of eternal life to a people who don't deserve it and who were at enmity with him. See, the love that we enjoy and that we share this Christmas, this Advent season, it cost God a great deal. Think about this. When you buy a Christmas present, the amount that you're willing to spend, be honest here, the amount that you're willing to spend has a lot to do, if not everything to do, with how much you love the person. Steve, I love you, but you're getting a fruitcake this year, right? All kidding aside, God, he gives us eternity through his Son, and it cost him his life. This season we celebrate Advent because God gives us a gift that is immeasurable, it is infinite, and it cost him a great deal. God's act of love towards us, an undeserving people, it should create in us a love that is, one, returned to God, and two, overflows to our fellow man. Merry Christmas, church.